You're listening to Daily Sip with Marcel, giving you morning moments of insight, laughter, and a little something to stir the soul.
So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Bob Bova. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Hey, okay, buddy, here in beautiful sunny Florida.
Well, tell me about the weather down there in sunny Florida, and whereabouts in Florida are you?
I'm in Venice Beach, and it's beautiful here today. It's partly cloudy, but it's 70, 72 degrees. It's nice. I'm on the Gulf side, as I say here, and it's nice. So I'll be in Orlando tomorrow, and the next day after that, and the next day after that for work. But had a chance to pop in here and say hi.
So you're there visiting your mom.
Yep.
Mrs. Bova.
Yep, that's her.
And so it's Bob Bova and Mrs. Bob Bova.
Yep.
Hey there.
Breakfast with Marcel.
I hope this isn't going out anywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere. The whole world's going to see it.
Yeah, it goes over all over the world.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that I'll just spite them.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't.
Oh, Mrs. Bova.
So how have you been, Marcel?
I'm great. Let me ask you something. Do you miss being a realtor?
Yeah, I do actually. I was in it 52 years.
Yeah.
So that's a long time.
Yeah.
And I did probably a lot of different. I had a lot of different positions, and so I never got bored. And I like people I worked with, and yeah, I do. I miss it. I miss Connecticut too because I miss the change of seasons.
Yeah. Well, my mom is still in Connecticut. She's living in Woodbury,
Really? Where?
just off of Route 6 there. What is that? Main Street. Main
Yeah.
Street South. Across
Really?
from, you know where she lives, Bobby? She lives right across from your friend that owns the pewter shop there.
Oh, for Brooks, yes.
Right across from Brooks, yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, no. So she's right near Dottie's.
Yeah, Dottie's is
Street,
just
I know
right up.
her.
Yeah, Dottie's Donuts.
Yeah.
Which I love Dottie's Donuts. They're,
Well, it's the old Philip from the old place to that place, and she has all the recipes for the pies and the donuts, which sometimes are bored Connecticut's best. So
they are. I just love them.
yep,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah, there's only a few donut places that I love, and Dottie's is one of them.
Yep.
There's a place in Wallingford that I love, and another place in Branford. But I just love that type of donut. To me, that's a very cool donut.
It's cake style.
Cake style donuts.
Listen, Marcel, please tell your mother I was asking for her.
I will, and whenever I talk to my mom, which I just talked last week, and I tell her, I'm going to be doing the breakfast with Bob Bova. She's, her eyes light up, and it's a wonderful thing. She says, boy, I miss Nancy. What is she doing? I said she's down in Florida, but I think she's retired too. And let me ask you
Tell her
something.
I'm unemployed.
You're unemployed. Okay, that's a good idea.
Unemployed.
That's a good idea. That's a better way of doing it. I want to ask you something, Mrs. Bova, about the realty. Just 1 second, because you're a pro at this. So
Well,
what
yes,
do you
buddy.
think now with the prices of homes that have gotten to a point they're really unaffordable for young Americans? What do you think about that?
I think that's a complicated question. It would take more than 5 minutes to answer. A whole lot of things would have to change for that to change. And you'd have to start from the top and work your way down. So I think it's too complicated. It's not a one answer question.
No, you got time. Answer.
And I'm obviously not involved now, so I don't know a lot of the regulations and a lot of the laws because they've changed. So I think I think you can't blame one particular part of the real estate industry. You have to look at the whole thing and the politics and the state and the taxes. It's too complicated. I remember when there wasn't even a tax on a lot of things that there are now. And that just keeps adding and adding. It's not that I won't answer the question. It's just that I couldn't give you a comprehensive answer.
Well, Bobby, what do you feel about, because you
Well,
and
I can speak to California. I think the biggest hurdle to affordable homes in California is just the incredible oversight and all the things that you have to get just to build. I mean, right now, if you look at the houses in Pacific Palisades and Altadena because of the fires, right?
Right.
It is those poor folks. There's only one house in Altadena that's been rebuilt, one. And that's because the guy was as a contractor, so he built it. But the permits that you have to get, the EPA stuff that you have to do, all the the hurdles that you have to jump just to rebuild a house. Not to mention, to put up housing. Mom and I were having this conversation today about all the money in California that gets spent on homeless and homes and blah blah blah, and nothing ever gets done because there's just so much government. There's so much government oversight and so many things that you have to do. And then all of a sudden you get. I mean, the classic example for me is in Los Angeles, they were going to build 188 units to move homeless people into, which of course is a very big problem in California. Everything got approved and it was going to move forward, and it got in front of the city council and they vetoed it because it was going to be right on the freeway, because they felt that they would get sued because if people took in the fumes from the freeway, that they would get sued because they'd get sick. And I'm thinking right now they're living under the freeway. I mean, I don't think it really, but these are the kinds of things, again, like Mom was saying, the politics of it. Nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody wants to make it, easier. Nobody wants to do anything. And until that changes, the price of homes are going to be out of reach. So like say for young couples, hey, I got a son, 27 years old. He's working his butt off. He works for the Department of Defense, saving his money as best he can. He's looking for a place to live. He's trying to, find a place to live in Southern California. And it's practically impossible. I throw some money in, which I'm happy to do. He's going to have a hard time. And he's got a girl. He wants to start a family, and it's just really, really difficult.
It's not a one answer situation.
So,
well, you know what, Robert? I'm in the same predicament with my 3 kids. Now, one, my middle guy, bought a house pre-pandemic.
Okay.
And he had a great job. He was able to come up with the down payment, and he bought the house, and they had a lot of great opportunities. This was in Connecticut. Great opportunities for a first-time buyer for him. He bought a house that needed work, and part of the mortgage and the stipulations was that things would be repaired and so on and so forth. They gave him money to put it in a new roof, put new windows in. He brought it up to, a beautiful, beautiful home. Then the pandemic came, and after the pandemic, the house skyrocketed. The house actually doubled in the amount of money that he actually paid for it.
What state is he in?
In Connecticut, right? Connecticut?
In Connecticut.
Where in Connecticut?
He was in North Branford.
Okay.
Branford.
All right. Well, again, that the pandemic caused many people to work at home, so that they wanted a nicer home to work. So that caused, almost all the homes in the entire country saw a big pop in terms of what what their value was. And as we all know, especially in many markets, when a bump in value occurs, a significant bump, like you say, it doubled, for instance, that coming back down isn't going to happen that quickly.
No,
unless
it's not going to come down.
Unless there's a cataclysmic economic event of some kind.
Or it's not going to come down. So then he sold the home, okay, and he's been renting ever since, because now he moved to Nashville. So he's been renting ever since.
Okay.
So he put the money away. Okay. But here is the situation. He was able to sell the house to somebody else that wasn't a first-time buyer this time, that they could afford that house.
Right.
But a first-time buyer that would be trying to buy a house in that neighborhood, because that house, doubled in price, causing the other houses on the street to increase in value, and made it impossible for, if he was back at that age trying to buy a house on that street or that house that he sold,
right,
he couldn't afford it.
Right. Again, there are so many moving parts to this, so many variables that, and it becomes a local issue, a state issue, how they want to add. In California, for instance, there's a state, not a law, but there's a state movement to build more affordable housing in different areas. And you've got beach cities that are saying, we're not going to build them because it's going to lessen basically, and this is an argument you hear a lot in terms of the quality of life. It's going to lessen the quality of life for the people that have been here, that have homes here, and we're not going to put up a bunch of, single family units just so that we can meet a government referendum for the state of California. So they're in court, that's being fought. And again, there is this push-pull of, yes, we need more homes, but you've got to jump through all these hoops, and it makes it very, very difficult unless you do exactly what the state wants. And a lot of the cities and the municipalities, don't. They want to be able to expand and build the way that they feel is in the best interest of their constituents, which I also respect. So again, it is just this, you can't win. I mean, there's just no way. There's just too many. There's
Government
regulations, there's headwinds, there's quality of life, there's city councils, there's the state government, there's all this stuff that, I mean, God, when we were growing up, God, they were building houses all the time, right? I mean, it's like, dad,
and they were building the houses, and the houses were well, I'm going to ask your mom, Mrs. Bova, when those houses were built in the 60s and 70s, what do you think about the builders and who were building those houses compared to the builders in the later years that you were in the realty business?
Well, I didn't get my license till the mid-70s, and the regulations certainly changed after that. I mean, 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, it all changed. The government has to take a look and make sure that the public is getting what they're paying for. But other than that, they've really got to get out of the building business and let these people do their job. A lot of good things have happened, but they don't explain to the builder. They just move ahead with no, I'm talking about the politicians, they just don't look at what they're creating. They don't have to live with the regulations that they write. And it comes in every part of the real estate business. Got to let the real estate business take care of the real estate business, and the politics take care of politics. I think that the builders did the best they could in those days, and I think a lot of the builders do the best they can now. But it's really hard, when people get in the way and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. And again, and what is the end game? The end game, what I remember, when my dad built houses, it was all about building houses for families, single family houses, so that people could get married, raise a family, be part of the community, be part of the school system, pay off their mortgage, and I mean, for lack of for a better acronym, of the American dream, right? So you had this, it was attainable. I mean, if you didn't make more money, you bought a smaller house, right? I mean, but now that type of perspective seems to have gone by the wayside. It's interesting. The other day, the president said he was going to look at all these private equity companies and all these big institutional investors, and what are they, why are they buying up single family homes and renting them to people? That's not originally how any of this was designed to be. Now,
BlackRock is one of them. Yeah, and their stock is just like started to fall.
Right. Well, I think that there's a perspective of, they had so much money that they could go out and buy these houses for cash, and they knew that they were going to appreciate, because houses ordinarily always appreciate. It's an asset that that always seems to pay off for the family. But now they're like, hey, we can buy these cash. They become, I mean, you buy the asset for cash, and it becomes an immediate instrument for cash flow because you're getting rent every single month. So it's a pretty attractive looking investment. And then when you have that, and when you compound that with multiple private equity firms and multiple corporate firms buying up these houses in very, very desirable locations, whether it's Florida or California or wherever it is, and they just keep buying them and buying them and buying them. Yeah, of course, that is going to continue to accelerate the value of that home, so that it's going to price out the families, which is exactly what they want. They want the asset to appreciate. They want to be able to charge more for it. I mean, for them, it's an absolute goldmine, but that's not what that was originally designed to do. It was originally designed to build communities and have families live in them and build towards their financial future. This really takes away a significant financial instrument for young families to build equity and have something that they know that when they retire, like, hey, I can sell my house, I can downside, I can borrow against my house to pay for college education. If that disappears, that is the number one asset for, I think, like 62%. I don't know exactly what the number is, but for most families, single families, that's their biggest financial asset, their house. And if you take that instrument away and just make it a standard investment instrument for private equity and large investors, I mean, that's going to continue to erode the middle class significantly. And what we need to do is we need to get back to, these houses are for people to buy and own and raise a family and be part of a community. And I mean, we can get into the fact that it's also this type of an investment perspective also erodes the entire community aspect too. I mean, all of a sudden you don't have any anchor to keep you there for 20 years to raise your kids, right? You can leave in 2 years, or you get a little, rent here and you move, and all of a sudden there's no continuity in terms of community. And I think that we're suffering from that a bit too. I mean, it's these kinds of things. There are ancillary issues that occur when the original need for something all of a sudden it changes. And it'll be interesting to see philosophically if there is a move so that they have to divest of these single family homes. First of all, if they do, the price of them will come down because there will be a supply, right? All of a sudden, because that's the biggest problem. Now there's no supply because of some of the things my mom was talking about. But if all of a sudden they say, well, you know what, you're not going to get any tax break. Actually, we're gonna triple the amount of taxes you pay on it since you're not living in it. I mean, whatever anyone decides to do, then there will be a supply issue. There will be a glut of houses, which will be wonderful for families to be able to come in and buy them up. I think something like that needs to kickstart this entire issue. Again, I don't think it's right or fair, or again, philosophically, it's against what it was originally designed to be, which is, being able to buy a house and put your heart and soul into it, have it become a financial asset as you get older, and be able to have that to depend upon, if things get tough. So, it's an interesting time for us because, the houses continue to appreciate, but there's a significant, dearth in supply. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. And one of the other things that happens too is that people paying rent is easily more than what they would pay in a mortgage. But because of that, they can't save the money because they're, living from paycheck to paycheck, trying to get, to a position where their rent is survival again, and they'll never be able to put enough money. I mean, to buy a house, right now you have to have like dollars.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, at a minimum, I think again, it depends on where you are regionally. The point, here, well, you were talking about paying rent. The natural inclination for any family is to try to get in the nicest house you can get into, right? So you're going to look at economically what you're making, how much you can afford to pay rent, and you're gonna choose the house from a rental perspective that's the nicest house for the top amount that you can afford to spend. And you're right. If you do that, how are you going to save money? Because you're basically handing over that money to your landlord, whoever that may be. And again, if you're trying to do something good for your family, trying to be in the community you want to be in the house that you'd really like to be in for your family, you're going to spend as much as you possibly think you can afford, as much as you need to be in that particular property. So again, it's this entire, the people who own, and the people who don't. And that wall is becoming higher and higher and more difficult to traverse all the time. And the real irony is it seems that the politicians make it even worse.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's not going to get better until the politicians get out of the real estate business.
Yeah.
That's the only time it's going to get better. And then they're going to have to go back and start from the beginning because they've made such a mess. I mean, there are taxes on things that we never even considered way back when. There shouldn't be. And until people say, hey, you know what? It's time for a change. It's not going to change.
Mrs. Bova, I got another question. This is in regards to where you're living in Florida. What town are you living in?
Venice.
Venice. Oh, I love Venice. Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. So I got a question for you.
Are you living in a condo or a freestanding house?
I own a condo here.
Okay. So do you pay HOA fees?
Yes.
And what does the HOA fees cover for you?
Well, let me just say that when I first I bought this way back. I think I bought it probably 206. I didn't live here. I rented it. I didn't move here until around the middle of 2016. But the condo fees started, as I recall, they were about $350 when I first got here. They're $720 now.
Wow.
And they're supposed to cover insurance, and you really don't want to get me started on the insurance industry. Because you haven't got that much time, and my anger would come through too strong. I'm not a fan. It covers trash pickup. It covers the television signals that come in from Xfinity. All the people are hooked up to that. It covers the things that you would expect things to cover, but it doesn't cover anything extra.
So does it cover water?
It covers water. Yes, it does.
Utilities, all your utilities.
Well, utilities applied to the building. Needless to say, we pay our own in our own condo.
Right. You have to still have to pay your electric bill, right?
We pay our own electric bill, but there's an electric bill, that the condo has certain things that needs electricity.
Or lights on the street and heating
yes.
pool and
Yeah.
air conditioning at the center and all that other stuff.
We pay air conditioning in our own unit. You're talking about air conditioning for what? For the meeting room?
Yeah, for the meeting room and and lights in the meeting room and
but I mean the air conditioning is that's limited because we
part of your electric bill. So how is electricity down there in Venice?
Well, I'll tell you, there's certainly a big difference in cost. I mean, I don't, and if the Florida Power and Light, I gotta say that they're on top of everything. My bill here, I told them in the beginning, I just want to pay, across the board and just make it a situation where, I can approximate what it's going to cost me. When I was in Connecticut, even with the companies that were coming in and, the aggregate companies, I was paying about $400 a month. Here I'm paying about $130.
Okay, that's good.
That's reasonable.
That's reasonable.
And they're here. And when we have a hurricane or something, big weather event is forecasted, I gotta tell you, the Florida Power and Light's all over it.
Yeah.
They're waiting for it. They've got trucks parked waiting for it. Yeah. I really think they do a great job here.
Now, the cost of electricity in Connecticut has doubled.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I can't believe the cost.
It's like California, same thing. I mean, it's just so expensive.
My neighbor in Connecticut, she used to pay, no matter what the bill was the month, they used to pay, like I said, mine, I want to know where it's coming in, so I paid the same across the board all year, both places. She used to pay upwards of $1,200 a month. And, it's the politicians getting involved.
They have a new tax. They have a new tax in Connecticut. They call it's a responsibility tax that is 1/3 of your electric bill, and that money is supposed to go to help them with their wind power program and
it's a green tax.
Yeah, and there's some things that are unbelievable.
Well,
again, it's the politicians that really don't have to. They don't have to worry about it like the person on the street does.
And not only that, but in most states, and I know California is one of them, it's really a monopoly. The electrical companies are a monopoly. It's not like you can go on the internet and say, okay, I'm moving into this home here in Woodbury, Connecticut. Who are the 5 electrical companies I get to choose from? Right. That does not exist. Southern California, and for us, it's Southern California Edison. That's who you get. And if you're further south, it's PG&E. That's who you get. And there is no choice. And the whole point is, and actually Tom Steyer, who's running for governor of California, is pounding the table on this, going, we need to make this open so that people can compete for your business. Because if people compete, the prices will come down. And he's absolutely right.
Full of monopoly.
It is. It's absolutely a monopoly. And the thing that's also interesting is that we are now finding about the absolute economic pressure that all these green taxes are having, because they're not really providing anything in terms of what they said they were going to provide. And it's just this money, again, it's going to places where, who knows? I mean, if it's working or if it's not. And it's not, there needed to be a much more comprehensive, let's phase it in plan versus, we're just going to throw a bunch of money at it. So, and again, like Mom was saying, a lot of it's political, a lot of it's to try to get votes. So we're going to be, especially in California, we want to be green, we want to be this, want to be that. Meanwhile, the prices continue to really, skyrocket for energy.
Politicians have got to get out of the real estate business.
Yeah.
And I'll take this one step further. My mother is the insurance companies, I think, are the worst of all of them. It's the worst. I'm looking at these buildings across the street from my mother who were hit by the hurricane. What they're going through, they haven't moved in. What I've seen in Altadena, in California, and Pacific Palisades, the humps, the hoops you have to jump through, the people you have to call, and it all comes down to the state insurance commissioner.
Right.
In the state of California, that he is probably the most powerful person in the state. He decides who can sell insurance there. He decides if you can compete. He decides what the minimums are. And you never hear about these people, ever. You don't, and the fact is that if it's a true capitalist environment, they all should have to compete. Every single insurance company should be able to go into every single state and compete for your business. And right now, that's not what happens. Again, it's a monopoly. And the thing about insurance that makes it even worse is that the government dictates you have to have it. You've got to buy auto insurance. You have to have homeowners insurance. You have to have flood insurance. You have to have hazard insurance. You don't have a choice.
But you don't have to have health insurance. And that is a big problem.
I agree.
Well, you kind of do when you get to a certain age.
Well, when you get to
no, if you have Medicare, they force you.
Nothing.
They force you to.
Nothing.
Well, so you'll be paid for it. I get it. And same thing with Social Security too. But I mean, there are instances where, states have political appointees like the insurance commissioner who truly decide who makes all the money, how much money they're going to make. And it's the consumer that really suffers. And we really need to get back to a more pure capitalist system when it comes to servicing the citizens. We need to be able to have open borders when it comes to insurance, right? In terms of state to state.
I believe that too.
That would change a lot of things. All of a sudden, there's no shell game anymore. There are no, hey, if you make sure that we're in here, we can do this. No.
With electric providers too. I believe that too. I mean, you can't tell me that because Connecticut, we get electricity from upstate New York, from the Niagara Falls. Florida also gets electricity from Niagara Falls. I mean, you can't tell me that electricity can't be provided to other places in the United States from different types of providers.
In a competitive environment. There's no question.
The delivery of that
everything comes down to the politicians. I think that Governor DeSantis has he's trying really hard to listen to what the people want and deliver it. But he's only one person and he can only do so much. And I think he's done a great job. And, I don't know what's going to come after him, but he's the only one that can really make this work. And God bless him. I hope he continues on.
He is one governor that is real advocate for his citizens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the man is wonderful. And I think that hopefully whoever comes after him, as he's termed out at least for 4 years, he can run after the 4, but he's termed out for 4. I hope they continue on the track he's on. Maybe whoever is coming will tackle the insurance company. Somebody has to. Because unless you get rid of the politicians, for which I can't say I have a problem with that, then as long as the politicians are able to do what they're doing, this isn't going to get better.
Okay, let's change the subject let's get a little more in a homey thing.
All right.
Mrs. Bova, are you baking or cooking?
Currently, right this second?
No,
In general.
every day.
I do bake. I don't do much cooking, but I do bake.
What do you like to bake?
Well, I used to make cakes and then, give a few away. And then it turned out I was giving so much away, I was running out of product. So I started making cupcakes. So every week or two, every couple of weeks, I'll make a couple dozen cupcakes and give them away.
I had one last night. They're delicious.
The Bova cupcake.
I don't eat them.
You don't eat them.
Away.
So you don't cook anymore. What do you do for food?
Well, I do cook for myself, but I don't eat that much. I think as you get older, I don't think your appetite requires as much. So I don't eat that much. I don't eat red meat. I never have for many years. So I eat a lot of chicken and fish and pasta, but little portions. I'm not a big eater.
Yeah, that's just like my mom.
Probably.
My mom got into being a vegan for a long time. She didn't eat any meat at all. Fish. She would eat fish, but not chicken. Now she eats a little chicken, but still a lot of fish and vegetables.
It's important though, as we get older, got to have protein. Got to have it. So you got to find a way to ingest protein.
So Mrs. Bova, are you taking vitamins?
Well, I'm taking certain vitamins. Yeah.
My mom
Yeah.
takes a lot of vitamins.
I take some. I take some of for the I take vitamin D and I take CoQ10, which is a heart vitamin. But that's it
That's good. So your health is good. That's great.
so far.
Fabulous.
So don't ask me how old I am because I'm not
Yeah, she got a birthday coming up too.
Yeah, when's your birthday, Kate?
31st. And don't ask me what year.
February. What is it?
February 31st.
January 31st. Ah, okay. So are you also an Aquarian?
I'm my what?
An Aquarius.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
Actually, might as well tell you, I am currently writing a book about the years in real estate from 74 on.
You're writing a book.
Yes.
Very good. Very, very good. I have a publishing company. So if you're ever interested in getting it published, look me up.
Well, actually, it's my second one. Bob has,
Actually, I can send you the first one.
well, the second one on real estate. So many people said to me, they said, why don't you write a book about your years in real estate? And I didn't. And then when I finished the first book I was writing, I said, well, I started taking notes and I'm on about chapter 35 right now.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about this offline.
Yeah. So her first book, did you get it published, and is it
I
available
looked
on
at
Amazon?
it. I reached out to some publishers. I reached out to some editors, and we went back and forth. And I sent money, and nothing happened. And it was
Oh.
like, okay. So, but yeah, I still have it. I'm happy
Yeah.
to.
A true publisher doesn't ask for any money.
Anyway, we'll talk about this offline because
Yeah.
if you can do that, that would be wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on a few books right now. I have another. That's where I'm going on 31st of this month to a client in just outside of Stewart in
Florida.
Port St. Lucie. He is an author. His name is Mark Winnick, and he wrote a book called The Dog Healer, I should say. And now he's writing a sequel. And that's some things that we do.
This book I'm writing now, actually, The Country Office, it starts when I do in 74. I can see where I could go for another one after this for the certain period of years following this. But as I started to put my notes down and things, it was amazing what came back.
Wow. Very, very cool. I love it. And it's called The Country Office.
The Country Office.
I love the name. You could put a little love thing into it,
No.
That's
That's just, no. I think
Not happening.
I don't think that would service anybody's. That would not be a good thing.
Well, it is fiction, Mark.
That's the problem. This isn't. I mean, it's called fiction, and you're keeping obviously changing names. What is it? The names and dates are.
To protect the innocent.
There you go. And so there are some liberties I took as far as changes, but I'm not going to. No, I'm not doing that.
Bob,
Everybody can sit back and breathe easy.
This has been really delightful. I'm glad that you didn't tell me where you were going. It's
No,
nice
I figured I wanted to surprise you. I figured we'd do it this month.
It's a really nice surprise. I'm loving it. I really am loving it. Okay, so all right, here's a big heavy thing, Bob, because you and I, we always put a sports section into this.
Sure.
All right. Guess what? Today is a big day for the Supreme Court. And guess what they're arguing today, or listening to arguments today?
No, sports.
Oh, sports.
Is it NIL?
Yes, it's the landmark women's sports cases.
Okay, sure. All right. Mm-hmm.
So right, yeah, transgender, what defines women's sports and who should participate in women's sports and that whole hit and caboodle. So
Are they trying to decide whether or not the state has the right to change the federal law on that one?
Well, I think that they're deciding because some states allow biological men to compete as women.
Exactly.
And they're trying to decide if they need to say, from an overall national perspective, you can't do that.
Well, there's two or three states that are testifying for the Supreme Court today, I believe. I guess that was their question. I mean, can the state have their own transgender laws as opposed to the federal?
And I believe that the argument is that it's the states that are against it that are the ones who have brought the case.
I think
because,
correct.
Right, and it's some of the participants of the transgender participants are the ones who they're basically suing. I'm old school on this. I don't believe that biological males should compete with biological females. That what needs to happen is either they have their own specific category to compete. And my reasoning on this, I believe everyone should compete in sports. I think it's a wonderful thing. And I think it helps build character and community and teamwork. I've coached so many teams in so many sports for so long, and I know exactly what it can do for young people. I do believe that when you're looking at, especially when you get into the high school level and you're looking at scholarships and you're looking at state records and you're looking at those kinds of things, that is unfair because biological males have an advantage: strength, speed, power, all that. I mean, there's some incredible, strong, fast, and powerful women too. Don't get me wrong. But I think that it's only fair when, especially in California, I see these transgender women competing against women and getting third place or second place and, all these other kinds of things and kicking biological women off the podium. And I just don't think that's fair. They have a significant advantage. I don't think it's fair. I hope that the Supreme Court makes that delineation and makes states give them, their own category, because that's the only way it can be fair. I look at the way the Olympics do it, and I think that's the way we should all do it. At the Olympics, if there's a question, they do the testing, and that's how you test is who you are. And I think that's right.
But let's be clear. In the Olympics, that's not a pro sport, quote.
But yeah, it is. It is now.
Well, let's put it in quotes. It's not really. But in that, there is specifics that the biological sex could only participate with the same biological sex.
And if there's a question, there's testing done. That's the way it needs to be. Now,
what? Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I agree with you in educational sports. I think from grammar school through college, the same thing should be used. The same ideas, same technology should be used that says, if you're a biological male, you should be able to just play biological male sports. If you're a biological female, you should be able to play biological female sports. But in certain other sports like swimming or team sports that you're in a team, that if you're a female and a male and you want to compete against each other, I think that would be fine. But on the other hand, if it's a all male sport and it's all female sport, I think that's something that should be just defined at, that by sex. There's other sports, that I also feel that, if they came out play, for example, a tennis team, all right? A female tennis team that plays, 2 against 2, 2 men against 2 women. And one of those women is a biological woman and the other's a trans. I don't think that's fair.
I think you're right. And I think that, so I'm a little bit between in grammar school, going up to 6th, 7th grade, that they want to play together. That's pretty okay. I mean, I don't have a problem.
I think that kids could play together. Kids should play together if they can play together. I don't want to see a little girl get hurt playing football.
Once you get into 7th grade, 8th grade, high school, and it gets competitive, because then there becomes a safety issue, right? I mean, if you've got a trans woman who's a biological male playing on a women's soccer team and he's bigger, stronger, or they are bigger and stronger. There was an issue in college volleyball in California, San Jose State. The person was a hitter and they were just smashing balls and really making it, causing injury. And all of a sudden that plays a part because it makes a difference. I think that you have to weigh, the needs of an individual and their ability to compete and be treated fairly versus, the safety of the entire team. And that's a big part of it. I also think that you have an opportunity now to do the right thing and say, look, we recognize, who you are, how you're going to live your life. We get all that. And so we're going to accommodate that, but not basically at the detriment of other young people. I just don't think it's right. And hopefully that's what they'll find. I sure hope so, because otherwise it's, I don't understand how having the biological males compete in female sports, how that helps anybody but that one person. Right. And I understand that person has the right to participate. I get all that. But, for so long, women fought so hard in this country for the right to compete.
Exactly.
Title IX, right? All that. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, but now we're going to let, biological males compete because.
Well, Title IX helped them get into the situation.
Well, yeah, because they were treated fairly. They got, the amount of money that was put into women's sports was significantly increased. The NCAA made sure that it was more fair, that, that the assets that they were going to be given and, facilities and everything else, they tried to start all of a sudden make it much more equal. And what we saw was a blossoming of women's sports. Our women's soccer team is the best in the world most of the time. Our basketball team, I mean, our female athletes, our women athletes are incredible. And a lot of that was because of Title IX and the fairness of it. And in my opinion, the transgender issue erodes that. It doesn't help that. And it needs to be looked at in a different way. I think that no young person should have to suffer because of, an issue like this. And like I said, you watch young women in, especially California, they get pushed off the podium because there's a biological male who finished second or third and she doesn't get a medal. And all of a sudden her ranking, in the state in terms of, whatever track and field or whatever issue. I mean, that's not fair and it's not right. And I don't think that, that no one should have to suffer for the rights of someone else. It seems pretty clear cut to me, but it's a complex issue because everybody gets a chance to compete. So, you should compete, not at the expense of someone else.
Yeah, I agree.
But go Patriots.
Well, listen, interesting. All right. So let's talk football. You got some good Los Angeles team there.
What great games though, with the exception of, the Chargers game wasn't all that good. The Chargers need some wide receivers that can catch the ball, but the Rams look great. That was a wonderful game.
Las Vegas was good.
The Bears-Packers game was incredible.
Bears-Packers game, unbelievable. All those games last week were amazing in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
And I'm hoping that type of, almost every game went down to the last possession or overtime, it was just amazing to watch. And this year, more than any other year, I think is as wide open as I remember it, with, like the Chiefs being out and now the Eagles are out and the usual suspects are all gone.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be fun to see.
And last night, the Steelers, that was a pretty big upset.
Holy smokes, does Houston look good?
Houston looks good. Houston looks good.
But Pittsburgh has been playing, football is such a difficult and strenuous and physical game to begin with. In terms of the quality of the teams in their division, they were in a very soft division compared to some of the other teams. Like Houston's defense, holy smokes. They look like they got an extra guy out there.
My God, those two guys, the Thrashers, them guys themselves, they could be the whole defense line.
And plus they get time because, the guys on the back end, the DBs, they're covering their guys so well. There's nobody to. That's what the Patriots. Herbert had nobody to throw to. They were all covered all the time, and he was running for his life half the game. It's just when you have a defense on the back end like that, and the Rams have some good guys too back there, and now they got Quentin Lake back, who's their captain. He's terrific. So you look at what the guys who are moving forward are the ones that have that great back end defense, good corners, good safeties, good linebackers that cover. Even some of the defensive linemen fall back into coverage now. The defenses are they're
utility players. The utility playing is unbelievable. It's totally changed in so many, and the athleticism.
It's unbelievable. When you watch a 342-pound defensive lineman fall back into coverage and then pick up a ball or intercept
or jump 10 feet. Or jump 10 feet.
It's like, holy smokes.
Crazy. Look at the Seahawks. What do you think of that team?
I'll tell you what, I think that Minnesota made a huge mistake letting Sam Darnold go. Boy, he sure looks terrific. Since he's in the division with the Rams and the 49ers, that division, holy cow, the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks, all still in it, right?
Yep.
So they're all, in the NFC, 3 of the final 4 teams from the same division. Holy cow.
I know. Crazy. Luckily, they don't have to play each other in the Super Bowl.
Oh
my God.
they're going to beat each other up. That's just some AFC team, But I've watched, being on the West Coast, those are big games for us, and watching those teams. They're just so talented, so well coached. I mean, they're and so imaginative. The play calling on both sides of the ball is just so interesting to watch. It's just such a different game than the one we watched growing up. It's really pretty amazing. But I wish Sam Darnold well. He's a local boy in Southern California. I hope he does well. But I root for the Rams only because they're local to me now. But Patriots are my team. They're the ones. Of course, I'll be rooting for them. But boy, do they look good. Boy,
they look good.
Went from 4-12 to 12-4 and moving on in the playoffs. So it's amazing what a really good quarterback and good coaching will do. But their defense too,
and a healthy team.
Well, defense wins championships, and we're seeing that now more than ever.
Yeah, that's true. When they have a healthy team, and you get that secret sauce, that quarterback and receiver, and that's what they have.
I also think that there's also at the professional level, it's such a different vibe than college and high school because, they're professionals. They could get traded in a second. They could get hurt and be done in a second. I mean, it really is, the end of the road in terms of what you can be and what you can do. And to get some type of, spiritual, team thing is harder at the pro level, which is why sometimes college coaches don't transfer really well. They don't, in college you get the whole rah-rah thing, but even now with NIL and all these transfers, that's going away too. But
yeah, we talked about that last time.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I think in the professional ranks, it's even harder. I think you get the right coach. I think Sean McVay with the Rams is really good at that. I think he does an excellent job. I think the 49ers head coach, he does a really good job. Shanahan, terrific. I mean, he gets everybody on the same page. And I think that's what Vrabel's done in New England. He has done a wonderful job getting everybody on the same page, the same mentality, the guy, Dan Campbell up at Detroit, he got them on track, getting the buy-in, all doing the same thing. And I think that's becoming a bigger part of success. And Andy Reid in Kansas City, well, I mean, They got Mahomes too, but I mean, he clearly gets them all singing from the same hymnal.
Well, that's what Lombardi was all about, right?
Yeah. Right.
That was what he was all about.
Yep. And I think
that's why the trophy is called the Lombardi Trophy.
That's right. Well, and you got to remember that, I mean, they won the first 2 Super Bowls, but they also won the 2 NFL championships before that too. He won a bunch. I mean, people don't realize what a great coach he was and how dominant Green Bay was from like 61 on. They were just so, I mean, a couple other teams won, Giants won in there once or twice, but Packers they were just so great for so long. But again, I think the game we watch now, like say the athletes and the precision and the creativity on offense and defense, it's really is amazing to watch. It really is. I have so much respect for everyone involved. I mean, it's because it's not easy. They live it and breathe it. I mean, it's really something. It really is. So who do you like?
Well,
who's in your Super Bowl?
My pick is New England and the Seahawks.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why. It's just stupid, but I think Buffalo. I think that they've got. I think that they've got so much experience. I just don't know if their defense will hold up. But I don't know. Just something about.
I would love to see Buffalo, but because I was hoping they would the last couple of years. They were close, but I don't know. We'll see. So you think Buffalo and New England?
I think Seattle's a good pick, but I think the Rams. I think I could see the Rams and Buffalo.
The Rams and Buffalo.
Yeah, I think the Rams are good. They're getting healthy at the right time. They've got good offense, good defense, and they've got Matthew Stafford, and boy, is he good. I mean, that guy, man, he can sling it.
Next breakfast with Bob Bova, we will have that definitely under the hat, and we'll know exactly where we are.
Yeah.
So there it is. That's your picks, my picks. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
All right, here's the pick of the day, because before we let you go, okay?
All right.
So where are you taking Mom out for lunch?
Well, when I go for lunch, I'll take her to dinner, wherever she wants to go.
Mrs. Bova, she's still there?
She's there. Yeah.
What are you in the mood for, Mrs. Bova?
What am I in the mood for? That's a leading question, Marcel. You want to be more specific?
Food wise for dinner, Mom.
Oh, food-wise.
It's
Okay.
a family show here.
I don't know. Well, the Crow's Nest is just up the street. I live within like 2 blocks of the Crow's Nest, which is a pretty good restaurant. It's down near the pier that isn't there anymore because it got washed away. So maybe the Crow's Nest. And as far as what I'm in the mood for, it'd be a nice piece of fish or probably scallops.
Oh, that sounds good. I like that.
And what kind of food is there, Robert?
Oh, seafood, like scallops and fish and that kind of.
They have pretty much everything there. There's 2 floors. So downstairs it is more of a type of a grill, and the upstairs is a little bit more formal.
The Crow's Nest. Yeah, I don't think I've ever eaten there. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, that's good. Well, listen, this has been great. Thank you very much, Mrs.
My
Bova.
pleasure. Nice to talk to you.
Oh,
And
my God.
Please
You look
tell
fabulous.
Please tell your mom that I said hi.
I will. Thank you very much, Bob Bova. It's been a pleasure. You're a wonderful friend, and I love you, my friend. God bless you and your family. Goodbye, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for letting me be part of your day. And until next time, keep noticing what makes life taste a little better. And if you're loving this, don't just sip in silence. Follow us, hit the subscribe button, and pour this into someone else's cup. Share it, spread it. Let's wake the world up together, one daily sip at a time.